Zelensky's rise coincided with voters around the world upending the status quo, propelling anti-establishment forces such as U.S. President Donald Trump and Italy's Five-Star Movement to power. He must convince voters he is fit to lead a country at war and at the center of the West's tussle with Moscow after the 2014 Maidan Street protests ejected Poroshenko's Kremlin-friendly predecessor and Russia annexed Crimea. Investors are also watching to see if the next president will push reforms required to keep the country in an International Monetary Fund bailout program that has supported Ukraine through war, sharp recession, and a currency plunge. Though criticized for being an unknown quantity and light on policy detail, Zelensky's emergence is a powerful challenge to the veteran politician Poroshenko and former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko, who trailed in third place. "I would like to say thank you to all the Ukrainians who did not vote just for fun," Zelensky told cheering supporters on Sunday evening. "It is only the beginning, we will not relax." In keeping with the relaxed style of his campaign, Zelensky's election night venue provided a bar with free alcohol, table football, and table tennis games. "You see changes in the country, but want them to be quicker, deeper, and of higher quality. I have understood the motives behind your protest," he said. Poroshenko sought to portray Zelensky as unfit to represent Ukraine abroad, especially in taking on Russian President Vladimir Putin in international talks. "Putin dreams of a soft, pliant, tender, giggling, inexperienced, weak, ideologically amorphous and politically undecided president of Ukraine. Are we really going to give him that opportunity?" Poroshenko said. Zelensky secured 30.6% of votes, compared with Poroshenko's 17.8%, according to an updated exit poll released at 2300, 20 o'clock GMT, 3 hours after voting closed. Tymoshenko, who won 14.2% of the votes, challenged the accuracy of the exit poll, saying her internal polling put her in second place behind Zelensky. She said at a news conference that she might contest the final result. Preliminary results, with 9% of data from polling stations processed, had the top three in the same order. Stuart Culverhouse, head of sovereign and fixed income research at investment bank Exotex, said Zelensky had tried to present himself more professionally by meeting business leaders and talking of orthodox economic policies. That said, if the exit polls are confirmed in the official vote count, we would expect Zelensky to be put under greater pressure in the run-up to the second round to flesh out his policy agenda, he said. Poroshenko has fought to integrate the country with the European Union and NATO, while strengthening the military that is fighting Kremlin-backed separatists in the east of the country. Voters formed long lines outside polling stations in neighboring EU member Poland, where between 1 and 2 million Ukrainians have moved, many in search of jobs and higher wages. Pushing the use of the Ukrainian language and instrumental in establishing a new independent Orthodox Church, confectionery magnate Poroshenko, 53, has cast himself as the man to prevent Ukraine again becoming a Russian vassal state. But reforms crucial to keep foreign aid flowing have been patchy. Conflict in the eastern Donbass region has killed 13,000 people in 5 years and rumbles on despite Poroshenko's promise to end it within weeks. Frustration over low living standards in one of Europe's poorest countries and pervasive corruption has left the door open for Zelensky. The majority of voters in separatist-held eastern Ukraine and Crimea were unlikely to take part in the election as they need to undergo a special registration process on Ukraine-controlled territory. But Crimean residents who kept their Ukrainian citizenship after the Russian annexation 5 years ago crossed the land border to mainland Ukraine, from where buses took them to the nearest polling stations. Anti-establishment, just 9% of Ukrainians have confidence in their national government, the lowest of any electorate in the world, a Gallup poll published in March showed. His campaign has relied heavily on social media and comedy gigs of jokes, sketches and song and dance routines that poke fun at his political rivals. After 5 years of fighting corruption, we have returned to where we started. Zelensky's campaign blurred the line between reality and the TV series in which he plays a scrupulously honest history teacher who accidentally becomes president. In Series 3, which began airing in March, his character is flung into prison and the country falls under the control of oligarchs, populists and ultranationalists, and eventually gets broken up into 28 states. Thinly disguised characters resembling Poroshenko and Timoshenko come to power. He embodies the perceived need for new faces in politics and could sway the young, pro-reform electorate to his side, said Economist Intelligence Unit analyst Agnes Ortolani.